Never in my life did I think that I'd see such hype around a Toyota Corolla. An institution on Irish roads, the humble Corolla has been around in one form or another since 1966, and with more than 40 million of them sold across the globe, gives it the monumental title of being the best-selling car in the world. It's just one of those cars that's always been there. Your parents probably had one, your grandparents probably had one, and in fact, because they're so dependable and reliable, they probably still have one. But this new 12th generation model is something different. After a short spell of being called the
Auris, commercially sometimes Auris.
Yeah, we never quite figured that one out. But anyway, it's back, and it's the Corolla Hatchback again. And it looks like this. Ooh. And it's now a hybrid.
Wow!
That's right, in a very 2019 move, the Corolla Hatchback has gone the way of almost every other model in the new Toyota lineup by offering a hybrid option. Now, there is still a 1.2 litre petrol version available, but Toyota reckon that more than 80% of customers will be tempted by the high-tech, fuel-saving capabilities of this one. We'll be investigating that a little bit further in a minute, but first, practicality. Now, the Corolla Hatch will be going up against some very big players in this segment, including deadly old rivals like the Volkswagen Golf and Ford Focus. And it does fall a little bit short of both of those in the boot department, but at 361 litres, it's closer now than ever. Now, this opening could also be a little bit wider, but that's the price you pay for that striking new sloping roofline. And there is a bit of a lip to lug stuff over. But as boots go, you should still be able to carry just as much as you should expect from a family hatchback. One trump card it holds in the back over both of those rivals is this almost completely flat floor, which means that for once, your middle seat passenger won't have to wrestle with the massive lump that usually lives here. Now, as a middle child who always got the short middle seat straw growing up, I really appreciate that, Toyota. Otherwise, head and legroom is pretty good. It's not outstanding, but again, pretty typical for the class. There has been a massive makeover in the cabin, and this is a huge step up to what was in the Auris. Some nice plush new materials on the dashboard, similar in design to the funky CHR. But, and this is a good thing, it is still unmistakably Toyota. And what I mean by that is it is solid as a rock. You've got a nice chunky steering wheel, a simple, logical layout, and nothing is overdone. I'm even going to do the Matt Watson special centre console wiggle test. And yep, look at that. It doesn't even think about moving. And that's why we love Toyotas. Now, you might have also noticed that the little toggle switch from the older Toyota hybrid models has been replaced here by this more conventional gear shifter, just like a normal automatic. So it is really nice and fresh, but still reassuringly conventional. Now, I will admit I'm not a huge fan of this screen placement. I just think it looks a little bit awkward and imposing perched there like that. That's subjective, of course, but it definitely would look better if it was integrated into the dashboard. That aside, the functionality is great, it's really easy to use, and I would say very user-friendly to someone who might not be used to having a touchscreen in their car, in that it's very easy to learn, and because there's not a huge amount to it, there's very few ways you can go wrong. The graphics could be better, but the basics are good, and I'm delighted to see physical buttons for the aircon and volume controls. Okay, spec and tech time, and please stay with me because I'll try to make this as quick as possible. The range kicks off with the entry-level Aura model, which for €26,370 will get you 16-inch wheels, LED lights, dual-zone climate control, push-button start, and in a very commendable move by Toyota, their excellent Safety Sense kit, which will add some very handy driver assisting features like a pre-collision avoidance system. If you're wondering what that is, basically, if the car senses that you're about to hit something, whether that's another vehicle, a pedestrian or a cyclist, you'll get a warning first telling you to brake, and if you don't respond to that warning, it will automatically apply the brakes for you. It also includes road sign recognition, active cruise control, which will keep you a safe distance away from the car in front, and lane departure warning with steering assist. So, if the car feels you start to drift into another lane, you'll magically feel the steering wheel pull you back in to keep you in your own lane. So again, that's standard kit across the entire range. So like Honda, Toyota won't make you pay any extra for safety features, which is great stuff altogether. But the one thing that entry-level model does not get is a touchscreen. And I know, not everybody wants one, but it is 2019, and the vast majority are going to take the very small price walk to the Luna model, which does get one and still comes in at under €27,000. It also gets some styling upgrades, as well as a reversing camera and a digital instrument cluster. Definitely worth the upgrade. This here is the Luna Sport, which gets 17-inch alloy wheels and some more styling upgrades like the bitone roof and privacy glass. It also gets rain-sensing window wipers and will allow you to add a pop of colour to the interior with this nice door deco pack. This and the Luna are expected to make up the vast majority of sales here, putting the realistic asking price somewhere between €27,000 and €29,000 for what is a very well-equipped car. If you're feeling very fancy, 30 grand or so will buy you a top-of-the-range Sol, which gets all the bells and whistles you can think of, like sat-nav, heated seats, and electric lumbar support for the ultimate Corolla experience. Well, that wasn't very quick at all, was it? Let's go for a drive. There are two hybrid options to choose from with this new Corolla hatch. This one, which is paired with a 1.8 litre petrol engine and has a combined power output of 122 HP, or a 2 litre 180 HP version, which is exclusive to the Luna Sport trim. Now, hybrids have been around for quite a while now, so there's probably no need to go back and explain the basics, especially here in Ireland where they've taken off in a major way, and especially ones with a Toyota badge on the front. But in a nutshell, part electric, part petrol, no charging, lower emissions and better fuel economy. The official real-world WLTP combined fuel economy figure for this model is 4.9 litres per 100 kilometres. And over my mixed bag of week-long driving, I have been managing to average respectably close to that, with some of my more efficient journeys even managing 5.1. Now, over longer stretches of motorway, you will start to see that climb. So driving at high speeds for prolonged periods, you're essentially working off a 1.8 litre petrol engine, which is not where it's at its most comfortable. But being able to float around town on purely electric power for the majority of the time does tend to balance that out. And for the right type of driver, hybrid is a fantastic alternative. As for what it's like to drive, the first word that springs to mind is easy. It is a wonderfully effortless car to drive. So because a hybrid system needs to be automatic to work, if you're an auto driver, that's a nice little benefit built into the price tag. And this CVT gearbox, for all the stick it gets for being whiny and noisy, is noticeably neither in this case. Granted, it does start to get a little bit more vocal at higher speeds, but for the majority of the time, you're sitting in a pretty peaceful cabin. The handling is also surprisingly sharp. So the battery pack now sits down lower, giving it a lower centre of gravity for some very planted cornering. And while it's not exactly laugh a minute, it is still reasonably engaging. The one slight downside to that I find though is that it tends to take any lumps in the road very flat. So you really need to slow it right down when you're approaching a ramp if you want to avoid that horrible clunk. You should be doing that anyway, of course, but I mean slow it right down. Other than that, the power uptake is quick with no hesitation whatsoever, and it's also got great elasticity at higher speeds, which makes for some very confident overtaking. Overall, I am thoroughly impressed. So that's it, the Corolla is back and genuinely better than ever. Are you happy to see the return of the world's best-selling car as a hybrid? Or are you one of those people who are going to argue with me that the Corolla is not actually the world's best-selling car because it's had different body types, and the Volkswagen Beetle is actually the true holder of that title? Let's have your thoughts in the comment section below. Like and share if you enjoyed the video, and don't forget to subscribe so you can join me here next week where we have the all-new Hyundai Kona EV. Bye!